Hello and welcome to Living Well with Robin Stoloff, empowering you to live a healthier life. It's difficult enough to be a teen at any time, but imagine what it's like right now. Some kids are going to school 100% online and have few opportunities to connect with other people. This can lead to feelings of anxiety, loneliness, even depression. Here with us now is Renee Sinning. She is a certified professional coach, mom of 3, and mentor and life coach for teens. Thank you so much for joining us, Renee.
Hi, thanks for having me, Robin. I'm glad to be here.
So many people could use this help. It's a difficult time. I have a 17-year-old daughter, and it is not easy right now.
It's not, and a lot of teenagers are really struggling just being at home, but like you said, not being with their friends, and it's not normal for them, and they don't know what to do.
A lot of adults are feeling that as well. So before we get into your program, tell us a little bit about your background.
I spent my entire career working with teenagers. I taught high school math for 18 years. And so having thousands of teenagers go through my classroom, I saw a lot of kids fall through the cracks because they just weren't getting the support and the help that they needed. And in my role as a teacher, there was only so much I could do. So now that I'm out of the classroom, I work with teenagers in a whole new, really powerful capacity as a life leadership and success coach to help them work through those strategies and tools that have them stuck, that they're not learning in school.
And you're a mom of 3, so you apply this to your own life.
I am a mom of 3. My kids are now 20, 21, and 26, but my middle child was the kid that fell through the cracks. He had Asperger's and ADHD, so I've lived all the stuff that I'm doing. I've not only seen it professionally, I've lived it. He's 21 now, so he's doing much better, but a lot of times when teenagers are struggling in school and in life, parents think, we look at them, we think they're lazy, they're unmotivated, they don't want to do anything, that they're not trying. But the truth is that a lot of these kids, it's not that they don't want to do well, it's that they can't because they have these executive function skills that are not yet developed and that often don't develop until they're 20, some up until 30 for like ADHD kids.
I want to talk to you about executive functioning, but before we get into that, you say that medication or therapy may be the answer for some kids, but not for all.
Yeah, yes, 100%. Therapists are medical professionals, and some teenagers and children 100% need to see a medical professional. But it's not the answer for everybody. My son was in therapy for 4 years. My child, the one that fell through the cracks, he was in therapy for 4 years. And while he was in therapy, he went off the rails. He barely passed high school. He hung with the wrong crowd. He did all these things. This is before I had all the tools that I have now as a coach. And he just went the wrong way. Now, he liked talking to the therapist. It was someone to talk to that wasn't us, his parents, but it wasn't what he needed specifically. Once we put him into a program that was a coach mentoring type program, his whole perspective changed in 3 months. It was like unbelievable because he spent 4 years in therapy and he went off the rails during that time. It was rough, and because it wasn't what he needed.
Talk to us about your program and how is it different from therapy?
Because as a certified coach and as coaching in general, we work with kids, number one, who are mentally stable. So if kids are mentally unhealthy, they need to work with a therapist for that. I'm not a doctor, right? So we work with kids and we take where they are right now as the perfect starting point and move them forward. Coaching is very much about forward progress and saying where you are now to where you want to go. And then we tackle those obstacles that are in their way. And we work on things in the POP program. We're going to work on some of those executive function skills like planning, organizing, prioritizing. And that's going to be the Sunday night portion of the program, is really getting the kids ready for the week ahead, getting them organized, not just their study space and their backpack, but also their thoughts and their mindset. Because we want to alleviate some of the stress of what's coming ahead. A lot of kids don't spend time planning. They don't want to have a planner. They don't want to plan. But it's imperative for the kids with these low executive function skills. Otherwise, everything's just whirling around in their head, and they get stuck. They literally can be frozen in place. And then we'll talk about prioritizing and help them recognize that you don't have to have 20 tasks in front of you at once. You might have 20 things to do, but let's prioritize and do them in chunks, maybe just 3 at a time. All of these executive function skills, they're learned. Kids can learn these, but kids with weaker, so the executive function is the prefrontal cortex of the brain, and it's the ability for kids to execute complex tasks. So complex tasks have more than one step. Studying is a complex task. Even cleaning your room, getting your driver's license, a job, a college application, these are all complex tasks because they take more than one step. And kids with executive function deficit or weakness, it's just not developed yet, they need help with this. And they can get help. They can learn it, but it takes consistency and accountability and just repetitive over and over and over again. And sometimes kids, they just don't want to learn from their parents. So the idea
That's true. Yeah, they don't always want to listen to us, even though we have the best intentions.
Yes, yeah. And so that's the idea behind this POP program. It's a semester long. Every Sunday, we really get them set up for the week. They're going to learn tools and strategies and skills. And then the midweek, it's going to be Wednesday or Thursday. It's going to be a midweek check-in where we address any obstacle or challenges. We make sure that their planning, organizing, prioritizing is on par. Anything that they want to talk about, we'll talk about. And then aside from that, any extra time, I'm going to go into some life coaching for teenagers. Things like problem solving, time management, communication, what healthy relationships look like. There's 7 levels of thinking. So we'll get into a lot of mindset and thought, because ultimately how you show up in any situation, whether it be school, a conversation, a job interview, how you show up impacts your ability to get the results you want.
I think everyone could benefit from this, not just teenagers. And let's just clarify what this, you say POP, it stands for Planning, Organizing, and Prioritizing. So that's the name of the program, starting soon. Your first month will be at no charge, so anybody who wants to try it can try it, which I think is great. And you'll be working on this executive functioning. I know people have talked about those things before, but you mentioned going into a little bit more detail with it, exactly what they can do to try to organize their life. And these are skills they'll have not just for school, but for everything they do.
Yes. Yeah, the skills that they learn through this program are going to be skills they can take with them through all areas of their life. You know, how to have dynamic relationships and healthy communication. These are skills that a lot of kids, they're not taught. You know, many kids pick up on it and naturally, but some kids don't. And kids that have like Asperger's, like my son, he had to be taught communication. You know, healthy communication. They have to be taught how to show up in the world. We're also going to work on things like self-awareness and self-regulation so you don't make the same mistakes over and over and over again. Kids with executive function weaknesses, sometimes they struggle with processing speed. So the teacher's given directions and it looks like the kid's zoned out, but really they just can't take it all in like that fast. We're going to work on things like how to deal with distractions and how to deal with resistance. All teenagers, all people, we resist doing things we don't want to do. We resist and we avoid, right? Now, for adults, a lot of times, maybe we don't want to pay our bills, but we have to.
Yes.
For teenagers, sometimes when they don't want to do something, they don't only resist it, they just shut down and avoid it altogether. So they need strategies to help them get past these resistance periods because they're going to happen. You know, you might start a program and they do great for a month and then all of a sudden they just stop. So we have to have strategies to deal with those little dips in their school year, which are going to happen.
Yes.
And we will. And so that's why it's twice a week.
And I'm listening to this and I'm just loving what you're saying because I have a 17-year-old daughter who's a senior in high school who's very smart, but does have some of these challenges, paying attention, focusing, prioritizing. she could just sit all day and draw pictures because that's what she loves to do. But sorry, we have to do our homework and some other things. And it's like pulling teeth to try to get her motivated to do those types of things. And as you said, nobody likes to do what they don't like to do. We all want to put off those types of things. But as adults, we have to do the laundry. We have to pay the bills. We have to do certain things in life. We have to go to the supermarket. But teens, I think, aren't there yet. Their mind is not developed enough to realize how important those priorities are. Not all teens, but many of them. So this is just resonating so much with me, and I'm sure with other parents who are listening to you say this. It would just be so great to have somebody really try to help kids. I try to help my daughter, but as you said, she doesn't really listen to me. I'm her parent, and it's hard for her to listen to me. It sounds like I'm just, telling her what to do again, but I'm trying to help her, and maybe I don't have the right skills or the right words to really, formulate what she needs to do. So you have a program, you have a plan. Well, this will be online, and will it be a group setting?
It will be a group setting. I do one-on-one coaching, but this program will be a group setting. So I'll take no more than 10 per session. So that'll be the maximum. So they'll be in the same session. They'll kind of get to know each other. They'll realize they're not alone, and we'll just go through it. So whether I have one kid in the program or 10, we're going to show up every Sunday and every midweek, and that's the midweek again is Wednesday, Thursday. I want to make sure that those times work. But twice a week we'll be checking in. We'll be working with the kids and addressing obstacles that might be in their way. Maybe I have a plan for Wednesday, but something pressing comes up that they want to talk. Maybe it's friend drama, or maybe whatever it may be. Maybe it's challenges with dealing with their teacher, and they just need a vent. A lot of times kids sometimes as parents, we want to fix things and we want to give our kids the answers when really they just want to vent and let it out. And so I'll just be another resource for that, along with giving them some strategies to deal with it. That's more the midweek piece. So that's what I think. I think that midweek is going to be really powerful. The Sunday is really about getting them in the right mental state. Let's get ready for the week. Let's kind of get motivated, make sure our study space is organized, our backpack, our thoughts, our mindset. Start our planning. They're going to have a calendar. It can just be a page, but we'll get into that. But they will have to have something printed that they can plan. That's a really important life skill, and these kids need it even more than other kids. We'll be on a Zoom call, and I will be guiding them. They'll be doing it as we're going through it. I'm going to be holding them accountable. So if we're talking about organizing your study space, I'm going to ask them to turn their computer on, show me your study space. So I can see that it's organized, because everybody knows that I just cleaned my office last night. It was a mess. And it's like I didn't want to come in here last week because I had papers everywhere. And when you have that organized study space, that has a lot to do with your mental state and your ability to not...
They always say a cluttered space leads to a cluttered mind. And that's why everyone always says organize your house, because it feels, when you walk in, you feel so much more at peace with everything rather than, oh gosh, look at this mess. Everyone can relate to that. So you'll be talking about this on January 4th. In case a parent listening wants to join in that conversation, tell us about that.
January 4th is going to be an information session at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and you'll be able to get that link on my website.
So you're in Colorado, so we should say that for anybody listening on the East Coast here, that would be 8 p.m. our time. So just so we clarify.
8 p.m. Eastern Time. So it's just where they can answer questions. I'll tell a little bit more about the program and what the expectations are, because I'm not going to let just anybody in. It's not just like if you're just trying it out for January, I want you to be engaged in it. So this is for people that want change, people that want things to be different next semester, and they're ready to do the work. It takes work. It takes work to learn how to plan, organize, and prioritize. But I'll make it fun. I connect with teenagers really well, and I get them. But it is not just, I'm just going to hop on here for an hour and not do anything, because it will be guided. Especially the Sunday nights. They're going to be working, but I'm going to be, as I said, there's going to be accountability.
Yes.
I want to see their study space. I want to see their backpack. I want to see their planner, their week planner. I want to see it, that they have written in it. And on Wednesday, I'm going to check on it again because kids need accountability.
They certainly do. And again, it's called POP, the POP program, Planning, Organizing, and Prioritizing. I love that. And what is your website, Renee?
So my website is reneesinning.com. It's just my name.
Again, for any parent who is interested, this program is called POP, which stands for Planning, Organizing, and Prioritizing. It will start very soon. And if you'd like to learn more about it, Renee, you'll be having an information session coming up. Tell us about that.
Yes, there will be an information session on Monday, January 4th at 6 p.m. Mountain, which is 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And this is just for any questions that parents might have. We'll talk a little bit about what the program entails, what the expectations are. The expectation is that people are going to be engaged in it. Otherwise, they're not going to get out of it what it's set up for. And so, January 4th will be the information sessions. Parents can hop on there, ask me any questions. I'll give a little bit more detail about the program. The program actually starts on Sunday, January 10th. That will be the first night. And I think school starts right around that time.
Yes, it does. It starts right around them. Some kids are not going right back to the classroom right away. We have to see how things go, but they probably will at least be starting online by that time. And that's a whole nother issue, organizing and being ready for online learning. That's been a real challenge for so many people. So again, what is your website, Renee?
The website is my name. So it's reneesinning.com.
And we should spell it SINNING. And I will put that in the show notes. reneesinning.com. Certified professional coach and mentor and life coach for teens. And we all could use that right now, Renee. So thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me, Robin.
Sure. This sounds like something my daughter could use, so I'm going to sign her up for it. Thank you. And thank you all for joining us today for Living Well with Robin Stoloff, empowering you to live a healthier life. Till next time, please stay safe and keep living well.